Good morning, everyone. My name is Siva Padmini, and I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Data Science in Marri Laxman Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I would like to discuss about class fundamentals and class methods. How we create methods when we are using in Java programming language. Coming to the class fundamentals, a class is a blueprint that defines data and behavior for objects. When we want to create an object in Java, we will write a class, and for that class we will create an object. It groups related fields and methods in a single unit. Memory for its members is allocated only when an object is created. In a class we will have instance variables and methods. When we want to use that particular variables or methods, we have to create an object, and memory is allocated only when they are called using the object only. An object is instance of a class created to access its data and operations. Each object holds its own state. It will have the state, values stored in fields, behavior, actions defined through methods, and identity. Distinguish one object from another object. Coming to the state means if we want to save any value for a particular variable, we will create the state. Behavior defines through the methods. Object instantiation. Creating an object is known as instantiation of an object. An object is created for a class. To call or invoke a class, we will create an object, and it is called as instantiation. All instances of a class share structure and behavior while storing different state values. Now we'll come into the topic of Java methods. What is a method? First, Java methods are block of code that performs a specific task. When a particular task, if we want to perform in a particular class, we will write that in a form of a method. For example, if we want to add two numbers or subtract two numbers, we have to write code, and that task is written inside a method. A method allows to reuse code, improving both efficiency and organization. Whenever we want to use a same method multiple number of times, we can use the code reusability of the method. All methods in Java must belong to a class. In Java, a method is written only inside a class, not outside of the class. Methods are similar to functions and expose the behavior of objects. With the help of the objects only, we can call the methods. A method allows to write a piece of logic code and reuse it wherever we need it in the program. In a method, if we have written a code, that code can be used wherever we want to use in the entire Java program, depending upon the calling of the method with the help of an object. If you see here we have written as a public int max of int x comma int y. Here int max is the name of the method, and public is the modifier, and here integer is the return type, and int x comma int y are the parameters which we are using inside the method. Why to use the method? The major advantages of usage of the methods are code reusability, modularity, and readability and maintainability. What is a code reusability? A code once written inside a method can be used in anywhere of the program. Modularity. So dividing a program into separate methods allow each method to handle a specific task, making the code more organized and easier to use. Readability. Smaller named methods make the code easier to read and understand. Next one is the maintainability. It is easier to fix bugs or update the code whenever it's organized into methods. Types of methods in Java. Predefined methods and user-defined methods. These two are the types of methods in Java. First one is the predefined methods. Predefined methods are the methods that are already defined inside a Java class library. In the library functions, we will have n number of methods which are used whenever we need the usage of the particular method. For that method, we will not write code in the Java program. Those are the inbuilt methods in the Java libraries, and we will use by calling or invoking the particular methods. Example, math.random or math.pi. When we use that math.random means it will return the random value which is inside the JVM. Math.pi means return the pi value, that is a pi value whenever we are using that math.pi value. So these are the few examples of predefined methods which are existing in the Java library functions. Second one is the user defined methods. The methods written by the user or programmer is known as the user defined methods. These methods are modified according to the requirement. Whenever we want to perform a task, we will create the method, and whenever we want to modify some methods, we can do the updation for the methods. Say hello, greet, set name, like these are the few examples. Depending upon the necessary for the particular program, we will create a particular method. There are two ways to create a method. How to create a method means there are two ways. First one is the instance method, second one is the static method. Instance method access the instance data using the object name declared inside the class. A method which is declared inside a class is called as the instance method. Static method access the static data using the class name declared inside class with a static keyword. This static method also created inside the class only, but that method will be prefixed with the static keyword. In Java language, method name is typically a single word that should be a verb in the lowercase or multi-word that begins with a verb in lowercase followed by an adjective or noun. Method name can be of a multiple ways. Rules to name a method. Method names must start with a verb in lowercase. Any method name should start with the small letter, that is lowercase letter we have to start. Multi-word names should follow camel case format. Method names should be unique within a class unless method overloading is allowed in Java. Until and unless we apply the concept of method overloading, we have to create method names with different names for n number of methods which we are creating. Calling different types of methods in Java. Method calling in Java means invoking a method to execute the code it contains. It transfers control to the process, runs its logic, and then returns to the calling point. Whenever we are calling a particular method of a particular class, first we have to create object for that class, and using that object, we will call the particular method. Whenever a method is called, the cursor or the pointer will go to the particular location of the method and it will execute the code inside the method, and after that it will come back to the original position of the main method class. User defined calling a user defined method. User defined methods are block of code written by the programmer. To execute a user defined method, we first create an object to the class and then call the method using the particular object. Here, let us consider this with the help of an example. Here we have declared a particular class geeks we have created. Here void hello is the name of the method which is a user defined method. In that we want to perform a task, that is printing a statement of with a system.out.println. This is the public static void main is the main method in which we have to create object for a particular class. The class name is geeks, so here we will create an object for a geeks. So obj is the name of the object for the geeks class. Here new geeksoft will instantiate and create an object. When we call that obj.hello, if we call like this, then the cursor will go back to the hello and it will perform the system.out.println statement, and after that it will come back to the original main method class. Calling an abstract method. Second way is when we can create a method with the abstract also. Abstract methods has no body, must be overridden in a subclass. Abstract method means we have to write abstract keyword before the name of the method. That method will not contain the task which we want to perform inside it. Does not have any statements inside inside the abstract class. Then we have to write the code in the next class which will inherit the properties of the base class, which is the abstract class. That particular method should be overridden in the subclass. They are called using an object for the subclass. Let us see with the help of an example calling methods with multiple ways. Abstract class geeks help. This is the abstract class. Whenever we want to declare a method as an abstract, then we have to create that class as abstract class only. A method inside the class is abstract means for sure the class should also be abstract. Here abstract void check of a string name. Then check is the name of the method, string name is the parameter, and abstract is the keyword we have to use when we want to declare the method as an abstract method and it does not contain any body for the code. Here we have to write the code for that particular method. What is the name of the method here? Check is the name of the method. That check method again we will call here, and here we will use the concept of overriding and we will implement that. Public class geeks extends geeks help. Geeks is the child class which is extending geeks help. When we extend, we can use the methods which are in the geeks help class can also be used in the geeks class. Here again we will say take the same name as void check of string name, and we will write code here that we want to print the name. Some name we want to print that particular task we will perform in the subclass. Then public static void main, we have to create object here. We have to create object for the class which is a child class. For child class we will create object. For abstract class we cannot create object and we cannot invoke the methods inside the abstract class. The code for the abstract class should be written inside the child class, and we have to create object for the child class only. Calling the predefined methods directly we can call by importing the library functions. So hash code, this is a predefined method and we are calling this predefined method directly in the program. Calling a static method. So static hello, here we have created one more class test, and void hello does with the void means it does not return any value, and hello, before this hello we have written the static keyword, that means it is a static method. For that static method we can directly call without creating the object. So class name dot method name directly we can call without creating the object. Static methods can be called without creating the object. Thank you.